Hugo and I live in Coburg, which is a suburb of Melbourne. What made me decide to go with Electrify Me? I think like many other Australians or Victorians, like we were really worried about our power bills, especially gas. So we started doing quotes to get our old ducted gas heating system removed. Obviously shopping around, I'd reached out to Electrify Me actually a few months ago, but we decided not to proceed. So naturally I just picked up the conversation again and got a quote that blew everybody's out of the water. How I first discovered Electrify Me. So obviously, as a new homeowner, I was looking at ways to make the house more efficient, getting rid of the old gas systems, and also with the potential of going with solar to obviously take advantage of the government rebates. And Electrify Me came up in my search for providers. So what made me decide to go with Electrify Me? I'm the type of person that does a lot of due diligence when I make any kind of big purchase decision, and that means participating in online forums. So naturally looking at the likes of Facebook and Reddit on what people were saying about the providers that they went with for their electrification or new heating and cooling installations. But I think the biggest thing that made me decide to go with Electrify Me was the service. Dennis, who I dealt with from the beginning, is an absolute case study when it comes to sales and professionalism, and that really put Electrify Me above everyone else. Because where other providers are really pushy and they phone you every day on the hour to find out whether you've decided to take the quote or not, Dennis was very good at walking through the process and leaving me to decide when to reach out, ask questions without being pushy as a salesperson. Yeah, I think when it came to the choices and options for our electrification and the upgraded heating and cooling, it was explained really clearly what the options were and also the benefits of going with the products and services that were suggested for our project. So the challenges and issues we were facing. When we purchased this property, it's only 7 or 8 years old. It had a solar hot water kind of hybrid system, a ducted gas heating system with a evaporative cooling add-on, and naturally normal electricity. And the biggest challenge for us was our gas bill was horrendously high because we're heating during winter. And thinking about that, planning to live here for several years obviously, and what the cost of those gas bills over that period of time would be, it just made sense to look for a more efficient system. When we originally looked at it and why we didn't decide to proceed initially just after we bought the property is we got a lot of conflicting information about the ducting in that some of the providers said that they couldn't use the existing ducting, which means we had to go with the split system. And naturally, because of the way our property is constructed, split system would be difficult to install and quite frankly, I don't like the aesthetic of having them on the wall. So we definitely wanted to use a system that leveraged our existing ducting work and Electrify Me was able to provide that. So what we were looking for when we decided to go with solar, one of the biggest drivers there was my previous car, which was a Land Rover Defender. Really expensive, just sat in the garage most of the time, and when we did use it, the fuel bill was quite high. So naturally, as part of a larger project to electrify the house using solar and replace the ducted gas system, we also considered what the benefits would be if we got rid of the gas-powered car in favor of an EV. So naturally, it made sense to go with solar in that case. So my experience with the Electrify Me team so far, Dennis, as our salesperson, like I said, has been an absolute case study in customer service and satisfaction. He has followed up, phoned, texted, but not to the point that it became annoying. The support team in the office has been really good in having to follow up on processes and timelines. The responses have been generally well-timed, and there wasn't any time where I felt uncertain as to where we were in the process. Do I feel looked after by the Electrify Me team throughout this process? Yes, I do. From obviously the sales side being communicated to effectively, but then after sales as well. For instance, the ducted heating cooling system we went with is supposed to be able to use an app for control. The little device that does that didn't get delivered with the system on the day, so it was sent to us afterwards. I went back and forth with Sana quite a lot on trying to get it configured because the instructions on the little doodad are woefully inadequate. But with Sana's help, being the bridge between myself and the manufacturer, we got the system set up. And so now it's working fine. How was the installation process? Our installation was split into 2 parts over a several week period because we first did our ducted heating and cooling and then we installed the solar. Both of those instances were fairly trouble-free and good. Our unit presents unique challenges with access in terms of access to the roof and access to wiring, but the Electrify Me team at all points of the journey were able to deliver what they promised, even though it may have taken them a bit longer because of unforeseen challenges. The installs were done in good time and to a very good standard. The crane was parked out there and basically the guy maneuvered the crane arm through those 2 trees. Yeah, I filmed some of it. It was, he's got my dream job. I would love to play with the crane all day. It's so awesome. When he did the solar panels, they lifted them off the ute and he brought them down. But then as he lifted them up and tried to get them through the tree, he was actually going to knock the tree. So it was like, oh, there's always something. So he had to put them down and readjust and move the thing again. And then eventually got them onto the roof. Originally, they were going to try and scissor lift it from the edge and then walk the unit across all the next door roof spaces. But I mean, it's a 300 kilogram outdoor unit. So it would have been a health and safety issue. What are our impressions of the installation? The hardware that's been installed is working perfectly fine. The solar system is producing almost at full capacity when there is sufficient sun, obviously as solar does, and the heating and cooling makes a big difference using the new system. Our benefits are immediately measurable in that our electricity usage has gone to almost nothing through our normal electricity provider, and our gas bill has been cut to, again, almost nothing, basically paying for the daily charges and our hot water service. There were some initial challenges with the battery and inverter system that was installed on the day, but the installation team from Kick Electrical were on the phone with the team at Hyconics. They logged in remotely, did a firmware update, and the system has been running smoothly since. How this energy upgrade has provided benefits to our household. So naturally, being solar powered is great because we get a lot of sun and we've got a sufficient battery, which means we run the air conditioning without worrying about any cost, which is naturally why you do this kind of installation. Especially at nighttime when electricity prices are higher, we can run the AC whenever we want. Cost benefits aside, it's a much more efficient system that was installed compared to the system we had installed before. So it works really well, which is naturally what we want. From a solar perspective, having an electric vehicle in itself is a great thing because you don't have to go to the gas station and then deal with purchases in the convenience store that you don't need, like pies. So being able to charge at home just means there's that convenience of knowing that you're always ready to go. And having solar and a battery to do those things just makes life so much easier. And I think it's a part of electric vehicle ownership that a lot of people don't consider as part of their strategy. And so solar naturally is a good fit for that. Would I recommend Electrify Me to others? Yes, and I have. And people have actually signed up to Electrify Me because of those recommendations. I think, especially in a market like Australia, where there are a lot of incentives that are getting people to purchase efficient home upgrades, it does lead to there being a lot of cowboys in the market as well, flooding the market with cheap products, bad advice, poor quality workmanship, which can be really dangerous when you think about the fact that you're installing equipment into your home that ties into the power grid that can cause a fire. Knowing that you go with a company that is backed up by years of experience and also really good service and delivery makes a big difference. To that end, I think it's important that we promote those providers that offer that high level of service and quality of service. I do that. I do that in most aspects of my life where I'm passionate about. So I have recommended Electrify Me on forums that I'm on, and also people who ask where we got our installation from or who our provider was, because I do believe in the quality of the service that Electrify Me provides.